Hey, is anybody out there? We're gonna try this again. Hopefully, everyone will come over to the stream. I don't know what's wrong with our internet today, but it is very annoying. Is anyone out there? Okay, we're just gonna keep going. So anyway, welcome back, everybody. Actually, let me give you guys a second to come back in.
Yeah.
There's just so much happening. Hey guys, sorry, I don't know, internet issues. You know, it is what it is.
That's life.
So
That's
is
what people
life.
say.
Yes, that is correct. So anyway, Enzo is not happy about all these new secret powers. And I think a few people were saying, like, this is feeling like a crapshoot now. Like, what's the point even? There have been so many people in the last day or two that are like, I want to go home. Like, it's not worth it. I don't want to be here anymore. Damn. Okay. So anyway, Kevin was in the HOH room with Christmas. And he was like, I'm going to share my opinion on this situation, if you don't mind. Kevin says, I think this whole thing is a distraction. People caused this friction, and now we're talking about Danny and Bailey. You know, they're the new targets that everyone's talking about. Yes. Hello. Tyler is the one that started all that. So Christmas is like, as opposed to who? And Kevin's like, well, when I originally heard the source, I thought it was very suspicious. So Christmas asks, who was the source? And Kevin's not going to reveal the source, okay? He's not just going to straight up say who he's hearing this from. So he's like, well, it's not Danny or Bailey. But Kevin confirms also it was not Kaser. So it's somebody else. It's Tyler. But finally, we got a good read from Kevin here, right? So I just want to clarify, Bay and Danny were actually already targeting each other, but Tyler accelerated the process. So he is part of this, but they were like targeting each other before too. So Kevin's like, I don't know your position in things, Christmas, but I worry that there are people across the board whose game hinges on making you feel like you're an important member of something, but in reality, you're a shield, an expendable piece. Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, he's right. He's right. But Christmas is not going to care about this because she's all about the team and working together. Just let him in. She's all about the team. So, yeah, it's falling on deaf ears. Hi, baby. Okay, meanwhile.
Get in my bed.
Meanwhile, Tyler and Cody are chatting on the Sky Bridge. And Tyler's like, I hope to God that Christmas is not feeling bad for Bailey now. He says, Bailey always makes herself the victim. He says, Bailey's got to go. She cannot be in the jury. An audience. Bowie. He says, Bailey cannot be in the jury. And he says, if Bailey says that he was the one saying that Danny is targeting Bailey, he's just going to deny it. But he was the one. He was the source. So Tyler starts talking about how Ian was saying he wanted to leave last night, and Bailey kept cornering him, and Ian was super upset, and Bailey was upset that her and Day are always linked together. And she kind of implied that it's because they're both black. And Tyler says, you know what? I'm out of here if that shit starts happening. He means like if this starts becoming like a race thing, he's not going to deal with that. Whoa. So he says, just because you're a shitty game player doesn't mean you can start throwing out random things. Damn. So Cody's like, yeah, people can be ruined for stuff like that. We can't have that. So then Tyler says, I'm pretty sure that Danny thinks that I'm the one who told I always want to call them Daly, Davon and Bailey, that Danny is targeting them. He was. So he says if that is the case, if she thinks that, he's just going to try and pin it on Ian, because Ian was saying that he was paranoid because of the bullhorn and everything. And Bo's licking my foot. Bobo. Ian was paranoid about the bullhorn, and Danny and Nicole were trying to get him to target Bailey and Davon. Okay. So Christmas and Day are then chatting in the HOH room, and Day says, there's a lot of tension in the house right now. That is correct. She says, someone is planting a seed to get me and Bailey to target Nicole and Danny and vice versa. So this is like Day's pre-nominations chat with Christmas to be like, am I good? Like, what's going on here? But for some reason, she's protecting Tyler right now. She knows that Tyler came to her and said, look, Danny is trying to get you out, but she's protecting him right now with Christmas. So Day says, you know, we could all be getting played, but we don't know because no one is talking. Everyone is at odds right now. Boy. So then Christmas is wondering, was Kaser the source? She just wants so badly for it to not be Tyler. So she's just like, was it Kaser? She can't believe that it was Tyler. So then Day is like, all right, I know you have some tough decisions to make, but you need to think about your long-term game here. Yesterday's HOH competition was an elimination game. And in a situation like that, you want to take out people that you don't trust, right? You don't want the risk of them winning the HOH. So Day says, I had like 5 opportunities to pick you in the competition to face off against somebody else, and I didn't because I felt safe with you. I felt safe with you, me, or Bailey winning. So she's like, I hope, you know, you felt that same level of comfort or security with me. And Christmas says, yes, ma'am. Weird. She says she really appreciates that from Day. So then she's like, I want to talk to everybody. She's talking about the HOH competition. Like, why didn't you get it right? I wish you had won. Blah, blah, blah. And then Christmas is talking again about how she wants to make sure she talks to everyone before the nominations and really do her due diligence. She says, HOH is a position of service, not power. Whatever. This is not a public office, okay? You are in power this week on a game show on television. Okay, this is not a public office. So she says, I'm here to serve in a weird way. We know you are. We know you're going to do what other people tell you to do. But that's not what the point of HOH is. So anyway, she says, you know, no matter who is going to go up on the block, she can't tell them beforehand. Technically, I guess that's in the Big Brother rulebook that you're not supposed to tell people when they're going to go up on the block. But also, like, there's ways to get around that. A lot of people ignore that anyway. It's just, it's a cop-out, right? It's a cop-out. So Day says, do what's best for your game. I have your back either way. All right. Meanwhile, Danny is crying in the photo bedroom. So Tyler is comforting her, and she's like, I'm just frustrated. She says she sucks at everything. So I guess she's trying to say, like, she didn't do well in the competition, the BB basement competition. So Tyler says, it's just a game. It's just a game. You've got a team around you, and even better, you've got friends who care about you. So, boy, please stop.
Sir, you can't leave.
Sir, please control yourself.
You can't serve
Please. Sorry, guys. It's a mess today. So Danny says he really does not like Danny or Tyler. So Danny says, my dad's here. Danny says, in real life, thank you. In real life, there's nobody that she doesn't get along with. We watched the whole entire season based around her not getting along with her dad, but okay. So Tyler says, you know, if somebody wants to take things personally, that's on them. You can't help that. So don't let anyone victimize themselves when you are not the aggressor. Okay? Don't feel like you're the aggressor just because she's making herself a victim. He's talking about Bailey. So Tyler says, I've been through it with the same sort of individual. And he's like, I feel like a terrible person to this day because I believed that I was doing something terribly, terribly wrong, and I beat myself up about it for so long. But after a while, you realize that some people just take things the wrong way, and, you know, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just a game. So Tyler's telling Danny, I'll still be your friend no matter what happens in this game. Honestly, I feel like Tyler is just prepping here because he knows he's going to be outed as the one who was telling Davon and Bailey that Danny was targeting them. So, yeah. he is prepping because he's the source. So a little later, Nicole and Danny are chatting in the HOH room, and Danny reveals that she won a power in the Big Brother basement. So she says it's trash. It's literal garbage. I guess that's why she was actually crying, because she says when she found out what it was in the diary room, she started crying because she was so disappointed. Damn. Okay, so her power, she has the power for the next 3 weeks to allow the outgoing HOH to compete for HOH. So essentially, she would let the HOH potentially win back to back. Okay. Now, again, it's for the next 3 weeks. It's over the next 3 weeks, but she can only use it once. This honestly could be potentially dope, especially if you're the HOH and then you get to compete again. That's freaking amazing. But Danny says, I can't even win a competition right now. And my reward with this power is more competitions. So she wasn't happy about it. Nicole's like, are you sure that's what it is? Ladies, it could be potentially really good for you, but whatever. So Danny says her power sucks, but she feels like one of the other 3 has to be huge. And Nicole says it should be Danny's because hers was in the secret room and we're on the outs right now. Throw me a damn bone. Nicole thinks she's on the outs? Oh my God. Are you effing kidding me? Nicole has survived a freaking wall yeller, supposedly in another banner and all this shit. And she's not in danger at this point, but she feels like she's on the outs and she deserves help from Big Brother. That's insane. But anyway, Danny says she has a bad feeling. She asks Nicole, do you think that Enzo, Tyler, and Cody told Bailey that I was coming after her? Because she's like, okay, Bailey said she's got 3 sources, and that's 3 dudes. Do you think it was them? And Nicole says, no way it was Enzo or Cody. Just, talk to Bailey and get her to give you the 3 names, and then you'll know for sure. So Danny says, well, if you think about it, Enzo was just telling me earlier that Bailey went to the 3 guys and, asked if I was going after her because there were rumblings of it, and yet none of them told me about it until Enzo now. And that was the other night. So why am I just hearing about this now? So she's wondering, are they, betraying me here and telling Bailey that I'm targeting her? So Danny says she is going to throw Tyler under the bus so hard. And she says, Nicole, you're going to be driving the bus. So she says, here's the plan. When we talk to Day and Bay, we're going to deny everything about us going after them. So Nicole's like, well, what if they go and ask the guys and it's their word against ours? And Danny says, I don't care. I'm just going to keep lying. She says, I'm going to say that people are trying to pit us against each other. Okay, so what wonderful timing. Day comes up to the HOH room and starts talking to Danny and Nicole. And Danny first asks her, how's Bailey doing? And Day says she's sleeping because this whole situation is giving her anxiety. She almost self-evicted. And Bailey was sleeping most of the day yesterday. She was not having a good day. And I think it was Kevin who kind of criticized her and was like, nominations are today and she's just sleeping. Why is she not talking to Christmas? And Devon was like, because she's freaking anxious. So if you don't have anxiety yourself, you don't understand how much of a toll that can take on you, not just mentally, but physically as well. So Bailey was just not going to be making moves before nominations yesterday. But Nicole shares that Ian almost self-evicted too. These people are sick of it. Okay, so then Day says to Danny and Nicole, the only way we're going to get through all of this is if we have complete transparency. So Day admits when she heard that they were targeting her, she decided, okay, I need to get them before they get me. So she says, I never said it out loud because I thought something like this would happen where somebody would take my words and, run to you guys and try to use it against me. Day. Day, come on. You know that you told people you're going after them. like Enzo and Cody and like all them. But anyway, she says, I heard that you, Danny, were saying that I gotta go, and you were questioning why I was so comfortable in Enzo's HOH room. Mm-hmm. So Danny is like, why would I say that when we're all in an alliance? Like, why would I care if you're comfortable in Enzo's HOH room? Like, you should be. Danny! So they're both lying to each other at this point. But Christmas and Tyler come in the room, so Day, Danny, and Nicole move to the have-not room. So then Danny says, all right, multiple people did come to me with the idea of taking Bailey out, and I said, yes, I'll do that. She said, it's fine. But she also says, so many times I told people that I wanted you, Davon, to stay. So then Day confirms that, yes, Tyler was the source that told her about Danny targeting her and Bailey. So after the name comes out, the three of them do a pinky swear that this information is not going to leave this conversation. Mm-hmm. So then Danny, now that Tyler's name is out there, Danny starts throwing Tyler under the bus hard. She's like, he said that he wanted Bailey out because she plays emotionally and blah, 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 blah. And he didn't want to be the one to put her up because of what happened between them on season 20. He wanted somebody else to do it. And, you know, they start comparing notes on Tyler. And I gotta say, Tyler is definitely guilty of trying to pit Danny against Bailey and Davon and vice versa. But they were also planning on targeting each other before. There was a lot of talk about it. So they're all guilty in this situation, but the girls are throwing Tyler under the bus now and trying to get away with it. So Day suggests, you know, we should try and get Christmas to target Tyler this week. Show him he can't be doing that. So Danny says, ooh, okay, but if we do that, he's going to have to be backdoored. We can't take the shot and miss it, right? We can't give him a chance to win the power veto. Christmas has a final two with Tyler. Like, there's no way she's going to do that. But anyway, Nicole says Tyler probably has power. And we can't let the guys get wind of this because then we're really going to be in trouble. So they agree. They're all on the same page again. They want to work together and they'll see what happens with the veto. And then maybe they can try and get Tyler up on the block. But they agree, like, we're going to keep acting like we're beefing so that nobody realizes what's really going on here. I'll believe it when I see it. Because I feel like, yeah, they're all gung-ho about it in the moment, but, like, then they're going to start talking to the guys, and are they actually going to follow through with this? I doubt it. So back in the HOH room with Christmas and Tyler, Christmas reveals that she also won a power. Hers is called the Blocker, and Christmas is way more excited about her power than Danny was about hers. So Christmas's power for the next 3 veto ceremonies, again, she can only use it once, but over the next 3 veto ceremonies, if someone uses the veto, Christmas can block herself going up as the replacement nominee. But she has to announce that she's using it before the replacement is named. You know, she can't just be like, oh, I'm going to use this now because I'm the replacement nominee. Like, she has to decide before the replacement is named. So another thing about this, if she wins the veto, she can use the blocker to protect somebody else. But I just want to clarify, this is not like a veto for her. So if she goes up as one of the initial nominees, she can't use this power to take herself off the block. She's just up there, right? So it's interesting. It's another interesting power. So they're pretty excited about that. And then a few minutes later, Christmas is talking to Nicole in the HOH room. And oh my God, it does not take Nicole long to spill that Tyler was the source. Freaking Nicole, man. She is a rat. So she says, yeah, they want you to backdoor Tyler this week because he's been pitting them against each other. And Nicole says, Tyler told on Danny, but he didn't tell on us. So it's not all bad, right? I mean, we're still good with Tyler. So Nicole says, I'm not really sure if Danny actually wants Tyler out or if she was just saying that because she was in front of Day. Right? She couldn't be completely honest about what she wants in front of Day. So Nicole's saying, like, I don't think it's a good idea for us to take Tyler out this week. And Christmas is like, yeah, we have to continue to trust the alliance. She says, if worst case scenario, Tyler did say that and he kind of like screwed Danny over, he may have been doing it to activate the girls and put them at the top of the house list. There is so much wrong with this statement. I just can't. I don't know what's worse, the whole activating the girls thing or the fact that Christmas is referring to this like house list. I'm sick of them playing as one giant block. It's so freaking annoying. But anyway, Christmas says, that's a sneaky move on Tyler's part if that is true. It is. But she says he's not going to put any of the alliance up if he were to win HOH. Okay, but he's trying to get one of your allies nominated, so isn't that kind of the same thing? So anyway, Christmas is at this point is still planning on putting Bailey and Davon up on the block, and Nicole's like, how does that benefit us though? Whoa, Nicole making moves here. What? I never thought I would agree with her. But Christmas is like, well, Bailey and Davon are not in the alliance, so we have to take away their numbers. We got to get rid of one of them. But Christmas is in denial here. She's like saying that Kaser was the source, not Tyler. So Nicole keeps bringing up, you could potentially backdoor a guy like Tyler if all of us girls make up. If Danny and Bailey and Davon make up, we could get something going with them and maybe take out one of these guys. But Christmas just keeps pushing. We need to break up duos. We need to stick with the committee. Boo, lame. So Danny joins them and she says, I'm really annoyed. She's tired of all the drama around the house. She says she's too old for it. But Christmas says, how do you think I feel? This is all happening right before nominations and I got to figure out what I'm doing here. And Christmas says, I'm going to get shot. Someone's going to put a fork in my face today. What is wrong with you? Okay, she's implying that Bailey and or Davon are going to get violent because they're going up on the block on a game show. Who is the one here with the criminal record? Because I'm pretty sure it's Christmas, right? So Nicole's like, no, Big Brother would stop that. And Christmas says, not if it happens fast enough. So then Nicole says, don't say that. It's disgusting. Thank you, Nicole. Again, Nicole with the sense. Wow. So Christmas says, I'm just saying I'm scared and I'm not easily spooked. I can't with her. The microaggressions, it's ridiculous. So Christmas says, I am going to need you guys to diffuse any of the bullshit that comes out after nominations. Blech. So then Danny talks to Christmas alone after. And Danny's talking about how Tyler is pitting the girls against each other. And it seems like Danny is actually wanting Tyler to go and maybe make this backdoor happen this week. She's saying, I make Tyler all of his food. What the F? He's turning on me now. So Christmas says, we need to stick with the alliance, the committee. We can make a move on Tyler when we get to the 6. Really? Christmas has a final 2 deal with Tyler. She's not making a move on him right now or even at 6. So she's like, we need to keep the target on Bailey this week. So then Day checks in with Kevin. She tells him all about the conversation with Danny. And Day says, as much as it pains me, burns my soul, sets my whole spirit on flames of fire, you were right. Tyler is a liar. She says, he was telling me and Danny different things. And Kevin's like, I know. I was right. And he said, Day says that Tyler has been trying to get Bailey backdoored. And Day is now saying she wants to get Tyler backdoored this week. Okay, so they talk about nominations and Kevin gives Day the heads up. He's got a weird feeling that she might be in trouble this week. He feels like she might be going up on the block with Bailey. He says, when I talked to Christmas, she didn't give me names. She told me that I was good this week, but she made it seem like she was going to nominate people. She was going to do something that I personally wouldn't like. So Day says, okay, that's not good. But she is preparing herself for it so that she doesn't give everybody a reaction if she does see her name or her face up on that memory wall. So later, they do have the nomination ceremony, and as planned and as predicted, Christmas puts Day and Bailey up on the block. And when the feeds come back, we see tears from Christmas? What? Really? So let's check in with Bailey and Davon first. Bailey's asking, why is Christmas crying? I know, right? So Bailey says, these people are sick. Christmas would rather flip on us who have her back and just jump in line to be at the bottom with that big group. So Day says to Bailey, like, no one has ever had my back like you do. They cry. This was really emotional. They share a hug with David, which was super powerful. And Bailey is telling Davon, like, look, you know this game. I know you can win these competitions and go far. She's not going to give up yet because there is still a chance that both of them can stay if somebody wins the veto. But, you know, it's not a great situation to be in. So let's go over to Christmas, crying in the HOH room to Cody. She says, this sucks. I don't want Day to go, and I love Bailey. She was all big talks before. Holy crap. So Cody says, you know what? It's part of the game. It sucks, but it is what it is, right? It's a game. So Christmas says, I did what I needed to do. This is what I had to do for my game and the Alliance. They were going to come after us. Then, as she's crying, Christmas says, Bailey is an emotional player. Oh my God, I just can't. So then Bailey comes up to talk to Christmas, and she hugs her. She says she's not mad at her. And Bailey is literally like holding Christmas in her arms as Christmas is sobbing. Oh my God, so scary. Like, watch out for the fork. I mean, really, Christmas sucks. So Bailey says, it's just a game. It's okay. She tells Christmas, I wanted to work with you. I'm just too honest for this game. Like, I don't really get why you put me up, but it's okay. So Christmas says, oh, well, I felt like we weren't actually working together. Like, you guys only tried to pull me in when you needed me. So then she was saying, like, you told me that Day is your untouchable. And I know that she's always going to be ahead of me on your totem pole. Lame. So Bailey says, like, yeah, that's true. Like, Day's my number one. But still, it doesn't mean they couldn't work together. It's just like a really lame excuse from Christmas. So Bailey asks her, like, did anybody else know about your nominations before? And Christmas says no. And that's a lie. So then Day talks to Christmas next. And Christmas says, oh, I wish that you won the HOH competition. Like, I didn't want to win this week, blah, blah, blah. I just feel like she's rubbing salt in the wound at this point. But Christmas is saying the same crap that she said to Bailey. She says, you and Bay are powerful. You're a confirmed duo. Just because you haven't won a competition yet doesn't mean that you're not a beast. It just sounds so ridiculous. So she says, I felt like I was only being kept in the loop occasionally. So Day is like, well, we wanted to work with you. When we were asking you who your untouchable was, that's because we wanted to start up a 4 with you. You know, it would be the 2 of us, you and your untouchable. But she's like, at least I get to play in the Power Veto competition, right? So, like, thank you for doing that. Okay, so then Day and Bay chatted after. They compare notes about their chats with Christmas. And then Day starts telling Bailey about the conversation with Danny and Nicole when they were all throwing Tyler under the bus. Because remember, Bailey was asleep during all that, so she missed out on all that info. But she confirms that Tyler has been saying Bailey's got to go. And Bailey's like, damn, I feel like a fool right now for believing Tyler, believing that he wanted to work together for real and have a clean slate after everything that we went through together on season 20. And, you know, then Bailey was talking about if she wins the veto, like maybe using it on Day and like falling on her sword for her. And Day's like, no, we're not doing that. So stop. Okay. So then later, Danny and Bailey chat in the lounge, and Bailey says, look, I feel really played by Tyler, especially after my experience with him on season 20. And Danny says, look, I get it. Everyone's biggest fear in the game is to look like an idiot. So Danny says she asked Tyler straight up if he feels like Bailey is trying to get him back for last time. And he said yes. So Bailey is really upset by that because she says, I didn't hold a grudge after all that. You know, after the season was over, a lot of people were blaming Tyler for Bailey having a miscarriage because they got in that huge fight. But Bailey publicly defended him and said, no, like he didn't even know that she was pregnant at the time. Like there's no way that he was responsible for that. So then the feed's cut. But this is some extremely personal, like deeply rooted emotional stuff that's now coming up in the game. And I just feel so bad that it's like gotten to this place. That must be so, so difficult for everybody involved. But when the feeds come back, Danny and Bailey are comparing notes on Tyler. And it was interesting because when Davon was telling Bailey about this conversation, she was saying, like, I don't want to tell you all the stuff that Tyler was saying about you because I know that it's just going to upset you more. I know that that's a really sore spot. So this time, like, Danny is telling her some of the details, how Tyler was talking about their big fight last season and how she, like, bit her lip and there was, like, blood all over the place and she's an emotional player. So Danny says, I brought it up to Christmas before nominations. I told her that Tyler's trying to pit us all against each other, and Christmas didn't want to hear it. Whoa! Okay. So Danny says, I take ownership for everything that I've done, and I'm really sorry. And it seemed genuine. So then Danny asks, who were the other two sources? You know, you're saying that Tyler is one. Who were the other two? So she asks, was it Enzo and Cody? And Bailey says, no. It was Ian and Kaser. Was it though? Because I know Enzo was definitely talking about it too. But Bailey is not throwing Enzo under the bus right now. So Bailey says, I want you to know too, even if I go this week, I want you to know that Cody has been extremely loyal to you. Enzo is just pissed about the alliance breaking up. Like, you can trust them. They're good with you. Okay. So Bailey is then saying, like, I hope that me or Day can win the veto and somebody else can go up and we can both stay. And Danny's like, yeah, I'm down for that. Definitely. So they apologize to each other. They agree they're going to communicate better in the future and they're not going to blow anything up with the guys right now. They're not going to let the guys know that they know what's going on. So they're just going to keep acting like they're mad at each other. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, I'd like to believe it's true, but we'll see. So okay, this is interesting. After that conversation, Danny is crying to Nicole in the photo bedroom because she's feeling guilty. She says that she feels horrible that Bailey is now thinking that all of this stuff is on Tyler when some of it is her fault. You know, she was saying that she wanted Bailey out. And she's realizing that this is so much deeper now because Bailey was talking about her miscarriage and she feels like a piece of trash. Danny says she feels like a piece of trash. She says, this is not me. I don't want to do this anymore. She says Bailey was super apologetic during their conversation and she genuinely likes Bailey. So she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know what to do at this point. So she admits, yes, Tyler did say some personal things about Bailey, but not to the extent that Bailey is now thinking. Like, Danny was definitely trying to fuel the fire in their conversation. Ugh, yikes. This is not a good situation. So anyway, late night, Danny was talking to Cody. I believe she asked him, did you tell somebody that you would be willing to vote me out if I was up on the block? And he was denying it, but like, I think he said yes. I think it was during that meeting with all of the Slick Six except for Danny. Didn't that happen while the feeds were down that one night when they were down like that whole night? I think that's when that was. I can't even remember what's going on anymore. But anyway, she also let him know that Tyler has been pitting her against Day and Bailey. She's spreading that info around. Be careful. And I believe she also told him about her power. Okay. So today they had the Power Veto player picks. The host is David, and the players are Christmas, Bailey, Davon, and the three extras, Ian, Nicole, and Danny. So it's interesting. We've got all girls here in the competition besides Ian. Okay. So after that, Danny and Day are chatting in the HOH room. And it sounds like Davon actually picked Danny. She had house guest choice. And Danny says, I'll throw the power veto to you if I can, if that's a possibility. So Danny says, don't tell anyone this, not even Bailey. But I'm pretty sure that Bailey is Christmas's target this week, but I don't think you have the votes to stay. So she's saying, we got to get you off the block. If nominations stay the same, you're going to be in trouble. So Day's like, I know. So then Day is asking, what about Nicole? Like she's going to be in the power veto competition. What do you think she would do? So Danny says that Nicole wants to win it and save Davon if she can convince Christmas that they should do that. So no. I mean, what are the chances that they're actually going to be able to convince Christmas to go against the committee, right? So this is interesting. Nicole talks to Christmas in the HOH room, and Christmas is like, all right, you mentioned something last night about keeping both girls this week. And I want to know, how do you really feel about that? So Nicole says, well, I want Davon to stay. I feel like I can't trust Bailey, and the whole thing with Bailey, Tyler, and Danny is really messy, and I don't want to like walk around on eggshells thinking that that's always about to blow up. So Nicole says, moving forward, I would love to get something going with you, Danny, and Davon. But she's afraid if Day is still up on the block on Thursday against Bailey, that the boys are going to vote Davon out, which is what they've said in the past. They would rather get rid of Bailey first. I'm sorry, they would rather get rid of Davon first. So Christmas says, well, I'm the HOH, and like, I'll tell them what I want to do. I'll tell them that I want to keep Day. And Nicole says, they might not do it. And Christmas is like, well, I'll effing wrath. So she says, we have respected every HOH's wishes. If they're going to go against what I asked them to do, then I'm just like a shield for them. Duh, this is what people have been telling you. You're just doing their dirty work. They're not going to take you to the end. So Christmas says at this point she's feeling really conflicted. She's locked into the alliance, the committee, but this whole Tyler situation is not good if he really was going behind Danny's back and telling Bailey and Davon that Danny was after them. That's not good. You know, they can't have that. But like the committee, right? So Nicole says, well, don't do the dirty work of taking out Tyler. Let somebody like Danny do that. Don't break up our alliance. You know, you don't need to be in that drama. So then they're saying, you know what? What if we had Danny or Davon win? What if we could throw it to one of them without it being obvious? So then we don't have to be the ones to make the move. But then they remember that there are secret powers in play here. They're not sure who has all of them. They're afraid that Kevin has one, and they know that Kevin is very close to Day and Bailey, and they're like, that's a 3. Like, we need to split them up. So they agree. If they win the power veto, they're going to keep the nominations the same. Okay, so then the fees are down for the power veto competition. Let me just check real quick if they're back yet. I can't trust you guys in the chat because I know we got some trolls in here that are coming up with lies. But let me just take a very quick look here. Okay, Christmas won the power veto. Okay, cool. So Christmas won the power veto.
Yeah. Great.
We'll see what happens. I'm sorry, this sucks. That's really annoying. That's really lame. Hey, Bowie. What happens? I feel like there's still going to be attempts to maybe get Christmas to use the veto, but like, what's the chance, right? She's all about this stupid committee. But anyway, the power veto ceremony should be on Monday, and we're still not sure who has the third power or what it is, right?
Maybe it's something good.
Maybe. You never know. Maybe Kevin really does have it, and he can save somebody. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I want to thank our super chatters today because you guys are amazing. So I want to thank Lisa Lunetta. Thank you so much. Jody Cortez, thank you so much.
She's a rock star.
Yes. Thrifty Babes, thank you so much. Laura Greer, thank you so much. Laura G. Thank you so much. Are you guys the same Laura, or are there 2 Laura G's? And S. Dean, thank you so much. And we also have Travel K. Thank you so much. You guys
Another rock star.
are the best. And now I am late for D&D. I have to go.
You have to get on your broom and fly.
Gotta get out of here, meaning up to my room and on my laptop. So thank you all so much.
Look out for the puppet show tonight. I'm working on it right now.
Okay. Yeah, the puppet show will be up tonight. So it's a lot of fun. I hope you guys check it out. And tomorrow, remember, the spoiler will be earlier because it's the Sunday matinee. Yay. All right. So
that's why you're not allowed at the show.
oh. Bye, guys. Until next time. Much love.
Oh my God, what a dumpster fire.